One thing I will say is that Hamas enjoyed a great victory, a fantastic victory. And the victory was the attack on October the 7th, the slaughter of the Israelis at the party, teenagers, 250 of them dancing at a peace concert and just mowing them down, raping some of the girls. I'm not going to go, but what I'm saying is where their success came. The whole world on October the 7th, the whole world was disgusted by it. They were crying for Israel. Poor Israel, this is awful. And within days, Hamas turned it around and turned the world against Israel. And the spread of anti-Semitism was rapid, worse since the Holocaust, the Second World War. Students, idiots, were protesting. I would have loved to have been in America and they protesting against me. I said, well, why? What have I done? What's that? Yeah, did I start any wars? What have I done? I watched a student the other day, and I think it was in Harvard. And when students go into Harvard, they have a card. They put it on a little machine, and it opens like the London Underground. You go through. And when he put his thing on the card, it turned red. He was a Jew. And Harvard stopped him coming in. What is that about? What I've just written just now, what has the pro-Palestinian, I should really call them the pro-Hamas marches, what have they achieved? They've achieved hatred. Nothing else. There will be peace in Gaza when Hamas are removed. Instead of saying free Palestine, it should be free Gaza of Hamas. Yes. I feel so sorry for the people of Palestine. I feel so sorry for the people of Gaza for what's going on right now. But
Do you think there are innocent people in Gaza? And if there are, how much percent?
Well, to be honest with you, I think the adult population of Gaza is very Hamas supporters, and obviously because they voted them in. But of course, Hamas then shot their way in through the thing, and there hasn't been an election since. It's a disgrace. But one thing that we've got to get on to here is just the figures of 35,000 dead. That's a terrible, terrible amount of people, and those figures have come from the Gaza health authorities. That's where those figures. The Gaza health authorities are Hamas. Now, out of that 35,000, they have never, ever mentioned a Hamas member. Now, the Israeli IDF are meant to be one of the finest armies in the world. They must be terrible shots. They seem to miss all the Hamas people because out of 35,000. Then they talk of 10,000 children. But in Gaza, the Palestinians call an 18-year-old a child.
Yeah.
So I'm anti the war. I'm anti-Hamas. And I'm for peace. Peace in Gaza, peace in Israel, peace in our world. That's it.
Yeah. But what will be the response after the October the 7th? If it's not a military intervention, how could Israel react to what happened in those kibbutz?
No. Listen, Hamas knew that they had to get Israel to respond huge.
Yeah.
So what they had to do, they had to massacre as many people as they could to get Israel to respond. Now, here's a question, and I'd like to ask your listeners this question. Hamas knew Israel were going to respond. Everybody knew, and they were going to respond. Hamas have got tunnels under Gaza, longer than the London Underground, deep under Gaza. Why weren't the women and children allowed to shelter there? Why? I know why.
Yeah.
They needed the dead bodies to hold them up.
Of course. Yeah, it's a strategy.
So why is the question never been asked? Why didn't you save your people? Hamas were meant to be the head of Gaza. Why didn't they take the women and children and let them shelter in the tunnels?
Yeah, they'll never do that. That will be against their strategy. Because all they want is to inspire pity from humanity by showing children, mothers, elderly in trouble. And apparently it works because the degree of sympathy that humanity have for Palestinians, it's nowhere similar that they have to the Jews. It's a totally
the Jewish thing goes back to, look, anti-Semitism has been under the radar for years. All it needed was this to lift it up. I understand as a Jew. I am proud to be a Jew, and I'm a practicing Jew as well. But I don't go around dictating to people this and that and everything. The Jews have got a terrible reputation for, I don't know, it's I don't know what our crime is. I don't know why we died in the Holocaust. What did we do wrong? What did we do wrong? What did the Jews do wrong in the world today? That's anti-Semitism, the hatred of Jews. And this thing of saying it's not anti-Semitism, it's anti-Zionist. I say, and I hate to use this word on your program, is fuck off.
Yeah, it's BS. That's what I want to say. Yeah,
it's a hidden, hiding cowards. It's anti-Semitism. Yeah, sure, it's anti-Zionist. Stop all that nonsense.
Yeah, I would say, if I can have a guess, that the reason why Jews are so hated all over the world is the reason is Jews prosper in average. You know, Jews prosper more than the others, and people are not very happy with see others doing well. You know, it sits bad. I mean, we all know that if you are in a bad situation, and if you see others finding their own way, you know, you probably won't have a good night of sleep. Maybe you look at your surroundings and you don't feel happy with yourself.
There's plenty of poor Jews, trust me.
I know that there are, but
millions.
But like from my experience, from my contact with Jews, even those who are not as successful, they are okay with themselves, and people don't like to see any degree of happiness.
No, it's very sad, and I'd like to face. You know, I was invited to Ireland to speak at a BDS rally. Do you know what BDS is? BDS is to boycott all Israeli goods. And they invited me to come to Ireland Saturday and Sunday to speak at a BDS rally. I said to them, why me? They said, because they want to show a balance to the rally. I said, okay, I'll come. This is years ago, 10 years, 5 years. I said, I'll come, but I wanted a condition. They said, yeah, we'll pay for your... No, that's not the condition. I don't mind about the airfare. How many people are you expecting? 500? They told me 500 to 700. I said, fine. When I get up to speak, I want you to hold the people to hold up their iPads and their phones like that. So when I get up to speak, I'll count 1, 2, 3. I want the 600 people to hold them up. And then I want them to smash them to the grounds. And the guy said, why? I said, because the memory in there is developed in Israel. Now, either you're having a BDS rally against sincere from your hearts, and I appreciate that, or you just want to boycott oranges and shampoo and that nonsense avocados. But if it's sincere, you can't live without Israel technology. Impossible. Or more important, oops, there's my headphone. More important, sorry about that. More important is medicine.
Yep.
So in future, I can give you a code number. And if your dad, or your mom, or your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle is rushed to hospital with cancer, if you see that, tell the doctor not to use it. If you're sincere, and just let your parents die. I know Mark Rich down here. He died a couple of years ago. Mark was he was a zillionaire, Mark Rich, very famous. They made a movie about it, but I met him down here and we became quite friendly. And he had his huge charity organization, and they developed in Israel a thing, it's when you're wheelchair bound, you could be born in a wheelchair. It's like a robotic thing that you put to your leg, either side of your legs. And people are getting up and walking. So remember, if your child is in a wheelchair, don't use it. It's Israeli.
Yeah.
Stupid people.
Stupid
people.
Yeah, they don't
Listen,
know what
Israel is not all good. Far from it. But nor what you name me which country is.
It doesn't exist on Earth, yeah.
Of course.
It doesn't exist.
Of course.
Yeah. Because it's like human beings, they're all full of faults and flaws. So, and countries are composed of people. So of course, some bad shit is going to happen there. There will be something that it doesn't make sense. There's always the presence of evil. Just there is this obsession with Israel, which I think is just sick. If you look at it, it's just sick. It's coming from a frustration standpoint for people who don't like themselves, and all they do is pointing fingers because it's their way to forget their own misery.
The answer to the question always is why Jews? You know, you go to anyone. I wish I could go to America now and go to one of these anti-rallies or London and just ask. You know, when they're interviewed on television, all these people with those scarves, which the Yasser Arafat scarf, you know, the scarf. Yeah, I wanted to do is get something printed on the scarf which says, developed by Maushi in Tel Aviv. And everyone think they're wearing a scarf. But, you know, I remember when the 6-Day War broke out in Israel. I was living in Ireland, of course. I was probably about 12 years old. I'm running low on batteries. And the 6-Day War. And a lot of young Irish people went out to Israel to volunteer, not to fight, but to take the parts of soldiers who are in the factories and everything. All these people out there marching, go out there and help. No chance. Yeah. Sorry, my batteries are running low, so just give me
Do you need to charge your battery?
No, but we could wrap it up soon, surely.
Yeah, we can.
Or we could do part 2 if you ever want to.
Yeah. There will be plenty of.
It depends if you're enjoying this. Your audience might hate it.
No, they won't. They're used to Zionists. You're not. I mean, I don't know if I can call you Zionist.
Okay.
But they're used to very much pro-Israel people. I think you are probably maybe the 5th or the 7th here, and including myself, obviously.
Well, listen, it's great to speak to you.